everybody out to the play yard. This is Bob, W6CJX, and this is the Papa System Great Outdoor Net. We're heading back to school tonight, sort of. This is a directed net, so please go through net control at all times, and your cooperation is always greatly appreciated. And by the way, this net meets every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Pacific. Before we get started, let's pause for any emergency or priority traffic. All right, hearing nothing but crickets, so we'll continue with the net. Stations with emergency or priority traffic can come into the net at any time with a double break, and net control will respond appropriately. Papa System is an open membership-supported system in the Southern California area with coverage from the Mexican border to Paso Robles and from the Channel Islands to Las Vegas, Nevada. If you're a visitor to the Papa System tonight, I invite you to go to papasys.com. That's PAPASYS.com. and register as a guest. With your guest registration, you'll have 45 days of free access to the Papa System. At the end of your guest access period, we'd sure love for you to become a subscribed member and continue to use and be a part of the Papa System family. However, all amateurs are welcome to participate in daily, weekly, and monthly Papa System nets, regardless of their membership status. Again, this is the Papa System Great Outdoor Net. All right. I was able to herd those little crickets back in their cage. I won't get into that now. I was thinking of naming my little home studio here Cricket Ranch. Unfortunately, there's already a Cricket Ranch studio somewhere in the world. I guess I'll leave that one alone. I don't want to infringe on any copyright things. Hope everyone's having a great Sunday. It was not a bad weekend weather-wise. I think it was pretty darn good. I think we all enjoyed the little sun, little clouds out here, but mostly in the 70s. So hopefully everyone had something similar or just got outside and did something in where? Wait for it. The great outdoors. Okay, I had to say that. Anyway. With that, let's see. What else was I going to talk about? Well, tonight's topic we can touch on, just so you get something in your head before we get started. We're going to talk about outdoor school. Now, that's, when you first Google or AI outdoor school, there's a bunch of kids sitting in school desks out in the middle of a forest. I don't know what that was all about, but apparently they do have outdoor schools, regular elementary, maybe high schools. That'd be kind of cool, actually. I think I might have gone for that route instead of these buildings. But I'm thinking more like, survival course, wilderness training. And if that's not up your alley, did you ever do swim lessons? How about ski lessons? Surfing lessons? Tennis lessons? Golf? Of course, the ultimate would be a course in survival in the wilderness. Okay, let me run the announcements, and then we'll get to report from Steve. He probably have something for us back from the trail. So the trail report. So let's do the announcements first. Stand by.
Here are the Papa System weekly announcements for the week of August 4th. The Papa Inland Empire Breakfast. Papa will be meeting in person on Saturday, August 9th at 9 a.m. at the Mill Creek Cattle Company. Everyone is welcome. We will be offering ham license testing at 8 a.m. for technician, general, and amateur extra class licenses. Please RSVP for breakfast attendance and for ham license testing at 8 a.m. The Papa Valley Breakfast. Papa will also be meeting in person on Saturday, August 9th at 7:30 a.m. at Lulu's Restaurant in Van Nuys. Everyone is welcome, so come on out for a chance to meet and visit with your radio friends that you talk with on the air. We will be offering ham license testing at 7 a.m. for technician, general, and amateur extra class licenses. Please RSVP for breakfast attendance and for ham license testing. Papa Quick Start Program. In conjunction with all of our test sessions, we have a Quick Start program for newly licensed technicians. Our Quick Start program is designed to get you on the air as soon as your new FCC license arrives and help you understand how to use a radio on the Papa System to communicate with fellow hams. The Papa System will provide you with a pre-programmed UHF handheld radio at no cost to you and assist you with technical and operational issues as you learn more about ham radio. More details are available at the test session and on the PAPA website. The USS Midway Museum radio team, NI6IW, will be on the air on Saturday, August 9th, from 0900 to 1600 Pacific Time. They will be celebrating the United States Coast Guard's birthday. Check the PAPA website for all of the modes and frequencies. All this information and a whole lot more can be found on the PAPA website at papasys.com.
And don't forget that this is only for a week from next Saturday. So I've had people say, oh, this is for this week. No. It's when we get into August, and then everything will be a second Saturday pretty much happening on the second Saturday of August. All right, with that, if there's any other announcements at this time, please come by and contact Net Control. All right. Oh, yeah, we don't want to hear weird crickets, but that was, okay, enough crickets for the night. So, with that, let's see if we can find our trail correspondent out there tonight. Give us a little report from the Dusty Trail. Mr. Steve, KI6LOV, are you out there? And welcome to the Great Outdoors.
Well, good evening, Bob, and everyone out here on the Great Outdoor Net. Indeed, this is Steve, KI6LOV, fresh off the trail with my outdoor report. And I had a very special weekend in the canyon this time around. And we have, as the cabin owners in Big Santa Anita Canyon, one of the annual events is the Progressive dinner, where we go from cabin to cabin, usually 3 or 4, and join in a nice party. Now, normally these are held down in the main part of the canyon, and back in the day I was able to hike all the way down the 3 or 4 miles, whatever it might be, and participate and hike all the way back up to my cabin in the evening afterwards. But thankfully, this time around, it was held about a half mile down from where my cabin is in Winter Creek Canyon at a little grouping of 3 cabins. And so I went down there, and it was a fabulous time meeting many old friends and meeting some new cabin owners that I had never met over the last couple of years. And it's we all share the bond of having a cabin, a hike-in cabin that we have out in the Angeles National Forest. So it was just a fabulous time, and then I got back to my cabin a little bit after 7 o'clock p.m., and I did not set up my radio, and so I listened into the Saturday night roundtable, but I was unable to participate because I can't get into the repeater on a handheld. So every now and then someone will ask me, well, Steve, you seem to go to the same place every weekend when you go hiking. Doesn't it get boring? Well, I was hiking out this morning, and it was just such a beautiful day in the mountains, a little bit of a breeze, not too hot, and I was thinking to myself that every hike is a new experience, and each one is unique. And every time I hike down that trail that I have done hundreds of times in 50 years of having my cabin, it's always a pleasure, and I see something new every time. I see new creatures. The vistas are just as beautiful as always, and so I would encourage all of you out there to make sure when you go for your hikes to slow down a little bit and enjoy the view, the smells, everything about it, because it very well could be your last time out there. And anyway, that's my report from the field tonight, Bob. KI6LOV, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. Always greatly appreciated. And you know, you've always got that time slot if you ever have something, and usually you do. So And that's a good thing, and I think it's nice to hear some talk from the trails. It's, your boots are still probably still dusty, and I haven't stopped. Well, I guess there's not much they can do other than sit there with dust on them. So anyway, that's cool. Very, very cool. I'm glad you. I'd like to go to one of those. That progressive dinners, those are fun. We used to do that with my parents in the Model A Club, and we'd go from house to house. But boy, after about the second or third house, you're like, I don't know, I ate too much at the first house, and even more at the second house. I don't know. I'm going to go home. That sounds great. That was like fun, Steve. Fun. Okay, back to our topic at hand, which is basically just, outdoor school. If you've ever taken any courses, maybe you took some wilderness first aid. I know a lot of places offer classes, like REI is pretty known for that. They're fairly reasonable. I think if you're a member, you get a little discount, and either hold them at the stores, or sometimes they'll actually do them in the field. And then there are a few times where they had these whole list of classes, and like I think there's even one on climbing Mount Whitney, whether it's just the lecture or it's just like if you're interested in climbing Mount Whitney, you might want to go over and check it out. So that's all I'm saying. All right, real quick, before we go any further, I'm going to play a little outdoor school AI presentation. It's real quick, and then we'll just take some check-ins.
An outdoor skills school is an institution or program that teaches individuals various skills and knowledge. These skills are essential for safely and effectively navigating, enjoying, and surviving in the great outdoors. These schools can range from basic wilderness awareness programs for beginners to advanced survival and bushcraft training for experienced outdoor enthusiasts. It can also be as simple and basic as swimming lessons, riding a horse, skiing lessons, learning to play tennis or golf.
Or bowling. Or maybe polo on a horse in Santa Barbara with your cardigan. Anyway, that's kind of neat up there. So, yeah, stuff like that, you've got to think back, dig back as far as you can. You remember taking some kind of maybe swimming lessons. I'm trying to remember. I think I learned to swim in a neighbor's pool, and they got very upset because I didn't have a swimsuit on. But, hey, at least I was able to swim, and they kicked me out. So that was probably that. I wasn't really swimming. I learned a lesson, though. Don't go to your neighbor's pool naked. All right, let's see who is out there tonight. We'll have a little fun with it, see what you got. And, some people have taken like a skiing lesson. Well, I did that, too. It got me on the skis and not able to kill myself too much. So that helps. So I'm at least getting one out of the way. Okay. Let's see who's out there. W6EJX for the Papa System. Great outdoor net. We're talking outdoor schools, outdoor education, wilderness training, just anything. Surf lessons, you got it. Fishing lessons, maybe fly fishing lessons. All works. W6EJX standing by for any station.
Kilo 6 Hotel November.
E6, giant quail overhead. E6 ESW. KD6 LLB.
6, Juliet Charlie Alpha. Jeff.
Kilo
Alpha
Juliet
Bravo
6, Golf Echo
Bravo,
Uniform.
Jeff.
Hello, this is Delta Victor, Alan.
Alpha 9.
Let me stop there for a second. I got Ellen, Kilo 6 Delta Victor. Then there was another station and someone that said P9. So if you just said P9, come back.
N6 HAL Papa 9.
Well, why didn't you say so? I didn't even recognize your voice. It's all I heard was Papa 9. If I would have just I heard that, but it didn't sound like you. Okay, it's all good, Hal. Let's see. And the other station, and I'll just run through the list real quick. I don't want to miss anybody the first round. Or just keep on coming if you think you didn't make it in.
Bravo 6, Mike Bravo.
Kilo Juliet 6, Golf Echo Uniform.
Victor 6, Juliet Charlie Alpha. Jeff.
KD6 LOB. I'm not sure if I made it earlier.
Not bad. That was kind of like the reverse of what I was going to do. So, let's say, yes, I got all of you. You just came back in on. Okay, I got Adrian, HNG. I got Monty, Giant Quail Overhead. ESW, Mike, LLB, Logan, JCA, Jeff, GEU, Bob, maybe 6MB, Jeff, K6DV Ellen, and N6HAL. So any of those groups, anybody I miss, and then we'll get started.
M6AVH.
RJ, yeah, and even outdoor photography is a class. See, it's all open to anything outdoors, knitting, crocheting, but, stuff, unless you do it outdoors, I guess that's okay. But any kind of class, outdoor class of any kind will qualify, and we'll pick the winner at the end. AK6HNG, Adrian, now, I've asked you a couple of times, are you going to the island, and what day? You don't have to tell me right now, but just get back to me. Go ahead, Adrian, welcome.
Bob and everybody there on the net. Regarding the first question, I don't have all the ducks in the row yet, so I'm not sure exactly the days. But I definitely plan to be a few of them. Anyway, coming back to the subject. Well, actually, in Europe, as a kid, we had a swimming school. It was actually literally nearby. And I remember they were organizing, yes, outdoor swimming, but it was more than that, because you could get outdoor lessons as, how should I call them, scouts, that kind of stuff, yeah, well, they had a different name there, but still. And there were also books and information on how to fish, fly fish, and all those things. So I didn't do everything that I've seen there, but sure enough, they were there. Oh, as for the swimming lesson, oh yeah, I took them. It was so convenient because you would walk probably 3 minutes from your house and be in the swimming pool. Okay, KJ6HNG, back to net.
Yeah, I forgot to throw in scouts and stuff, merit badges. That's kind of like outdoor classes. So if you're really digging deep for that, what did I do? What kind of outdoor class did I ever take? And you were a scout, there you go. That'll work. Or you can just come in and say hello. It's not a big deal. I'm just trying to help everyone out, jog some memories, rattle some cobwebs, and those kind of good things. All right, Adrian, thank you. You have got a permanent spot there, so don't worry. You work out your schedule. Come over when you can. You'll always have a place there, so you know that. You're one of the longest members, besides myself, I suppose, going out there. And we'll talk a little more about that on one of the outdoor nets, going over to the Papa Ham camp. Okay, thank you, Adrian. And let's say hello to Kilo Echo 6, I believe, right, Monty? Giant Quail overhead. Welcome, Monty.
Kilo Echo 6, Golf, Quebec, Oscar. This is Monty. I'm in Anaheim Hills today, not in Big Bear. And first, Bob, thanks for doing the net. That's awesome. I love this net. And the topic at hand, I did take something very unique years ago when I was very active outdoors, was ultralight backpacking. And it was everything to do with backpacking with the minimum needed. And that was a wonderful, wonderful class, and that was really neat. It was over a 3-day weekend, and we basically went from Tuolumne Meadows to Yosemite Valley, so that was wonderful. And I just came back from living in a tent for 2 weeks, and maybe one of your nets you can ask everybody what's the longest they stayed in a tent. So I'm 2 weeks and a couple days. Anyways, thanks again, and back to you, Bob. Kilo Echo 6, Giant Quail overhead.
Do they make noise like geese or anything so you know they're flying over your head? Or they just go that kind of just fluttering, when you try to flush them out of the bush, as we used to say. Well, thank you, Monty. Yeah, that's now what a great, better classroom than that. Go out and learn ultralight backpacking. Tuolumne Meadows on a 3-day deal, that is just like way too cool. I don't know, that's just the way to go. So, thank you for sharing that. That's very interesting. Yeah, people kind of just do it on their own, and they say, well, they make their mistakes, and they think, why did I bring this? I never use this thing, and it weighs 1.5 pounds, and it shouldn't be in my backpack, you know. Not ultralight, but regular backpacking. And it just takes time to figure out. And if you have to suffer a little bit, it's not that bad. Use a stick, you know, make chopsticks or something if you forgot your fork. Thank you, Monty. Always good to hear you. Glad you're, well, not glad you're off the mountain, but glad you were here to check in. I appreciate that. And, of course, you can always catch the archive, as you know, on the PAPA website. And so check it out, you know. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's say hello to Mike, KC6ESW. Good evening, Mr. Mike, and welcome to the Great Outdoors.
W6CGX, KC6ESW Mobile. Looking for a place to get a bite to eat, and then I head on and relax. Just did a trip to Lowe's and picked up light bulbs, and boy, light bulbs sure have changed. A couple of those and a couple other things. But yeah, nice evening here, 77 degrees in Santa Clarita. So I was shopping this evening at Lowe's and looking for that Curly Q amber light I used to have. Like a mirror and like a candle, and couldn't find it. Anyway, back to you, KC6ESW.
Well, thank you, Mike. And before you run, do you guys have a restaurant over there called like Backwoods Steakhouse or something? It keeps popping up on Facebook, and it keeps like calling my name or something.
This inn is iconic. It's been here for ages, since the 60s, and great family-style dinner, nice bar, but it's really cool. Kind of rustic. It's a steakhouse. They've got a great spread for St. Patrick's Day usually, corned beef and cabbage, but yeah, definitely a go-to. Check it out, right there on Sierra Highway.
Well, I figured you might know, since you're out in Santa Clarita, and it looked like it has been, you know, an iconic restaurant for many years, which are the best kind. If they're still in business now, they're doing something right, and people love
I can
them.
walk there.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, well, then you could walk there and walk it off coming back. But, the food looks good. I'll have to check into that a little bit. All right, thank you, Mike. Say hello to Chris. I think she's there with you, and waving a hand to her. And let's say hello to Logan, KD6 Lima Bravo.
Good evening, Bob, and everybody on the net. This is Logan, KD6 LLB on Papa 4. And, yeah, already a lot of interesting things. First, about the progressive dinner idea, decision-making characteristics of a dog. Basically, you know, if something's pretty good, I think, well, I should just eat all of this. And anyway, I'm not good at leaving room. And also, just comment about Steve's observation covering the same trail. Yeah, I actually do that kind of thing on purpose. There are certain places like the Sespe that I like to go pretty much any time of year just to see the changes in vegetation and humidity and light. And the trail, you know, kind of cycles through and, you know, rinse and repeat. So, yeah, I like visiting places to see them change. As far as lessons, I tried to think of it. I know I did have swimming lessons that consisted of some older kids saying, "Don't be such a crybaby, just swim." And it turns out that works. Anyway, had terrible coaching in soccer in high school. Our soccer coach kept trying to recruit us to play rugby, and rugby's not my sport. If I break my nose, I want to stop and think about it for a minute, but that's not allowed in rugby. The one thing that pops into my mind is we had a habit or a policy of pretty much anybody who visited from anywhere, especially kids, you know, family, friends, anybody who was interested, we took them for surfing lessons. And I got to say that is much, much better than trying to teach somebody from, you know, Germany or France that's maybe never seen the ocean to surf, because the surf instructors really have it worked out. And then once people learn how to get to their feet and they've got a rental wetsuit and all that, you can just push them into waves all day long. And people love that. I highly recommend that. Surfing lessons are definitely worth whatever you got to pay. One thing that also popped into my mind that's pretty relevant, when I went to UCLA in, I think, 89, maybe the second year there, I went and looked around and they found there were rec classes or whatever they called them, and I signed up for a backpacking class just because I thought that would help me. I wasn't used to, actually backpacking in the mountains. I didn't grow up out here. And took the class, and the instructors were the first people that I had ever heard of who actually had degrees in outdoor leadership and training and I don't know what. They had degrees in fun stuff outside and how to teach it. And they were amazing. And the groups that got together it was just really great. And then, they also taught climbing, and so we would go out to Joshua Tree, and that was a lot of fun. Definitely learned things at a much, faster pace. They were really good teachers, and really enjoyed that. And just the other day, it might have been yesterday or the day before, I saw a group of young people at Lily's, and there were a couple of them with UCLA caps and maybe a shirt. And anyway, I looked at them, and I just knew they were that kind of group, and I went over and talked to them, and sure enough, they were. And they were pretty much up to the same sort of thing. These guys happened to be hiking in preparation for something, I think. But anyway, yeah, I think I actually would like to have spent more time with people who are, really good at teaching that kind of stuff instead of, figuring out most of it on my own. But anyway, it's great to hear you, Bob, and everyone out there. This is Logan, KD6LLB, back to net.
Well, when I was thinking about this classes and outdoor classes and trying to think up how many different kinds there could be, and all of a sudden this vision of you on a surfboard or something came into my head, and I thought, surf lessons, absolutely. You go to the beach on any given day, they've got these surf camps, which is awesome. It keeps your kids out of trouble, keeps them in the water, and they learn to surf. And, once you learn to surf, like they say, you've learned to surf. So I don't know if it's like riding a bicycle, but you might have learned something. So thank you so much, Logan. Wow, that's awesome. And, I don't think I ever took a backpacking thing. I guess it was more or less just doing, like I said, trial by error. And I'm still probably really lousy at packing. Even on the island trip, I say, well, I'll take this. As long as the bag's under 45 pounds, I'm good. All right, thanks, Logan. Let's let Jeff. Thanks for waiting on us out here. K06, Juliet, Charlie, Alpha, Lido.
Thank you, Bob. Kilo Oscar 6, Juliet, Charlie, Alpha. Thanks for hosting the net. And also wanted to thank you, Bob, for the going above and beyond last week and doing the post-production edit to add the Austin Powers Liquid Hot Magma. That was a great addition to the net. You were trying to herd the crickets back into the Cricket Ranch, which may be copyrighted, so maybe you can use Cricket Thicket. That could be your copyright. Take Cricket Thicket and herd the crickets back in. Anyway, as far as class, mine was kind of similar to Logan's story, except mine was like a formal little kid YMCA type of swimming school. And what they did was they were like, I don't know, teenage instructors or whatever, and we were all little, and they would take one kid at a time, grab him, and throw him into the middle of the deep end and see what he did, and then they would label you with a particular fish. So if you were good, they'd say shark or barracuda or whale or something. I think they threw me in, and I sank to the bottom of the pool, came up gasping for air, and I think they wrote minnow on the clipboard, and I never went back. Anyway, 7-3 all, back to net control. Kilo Oscar 6, Juliet, Charlie Alpha.
Sounds like the ticket to the cricket ticket or something. That was pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I was quietly disappointed when I found out that Cricket Ranch was already, Cricket Ranch Studios. You could probably still maybe do Cricket Ranch. And it doesn't need to be a studio. It's just a small home studio. So it's no big deal. But it's mine. That's the big deal of it. So, yeah, and thanks for that. I actually forgot that I added that in. I thought that was really, it hit home for me because I've watched Austin Powers probably more than, well, not more than most, but more than I should have. I'll put it that way. Yeah, especially my daughter just absolutely loved all that. Fat Bastard and just, I guess, love them all. So, thank you for that, and I added that in there for you. W6CJX for the Papa System Great Outdoor Net, Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific. I think that's where we're at. Is that our time zone? What is our zone out here? I know at least Steve found his zone. I'm so proud of him. Okay, let's head on over to Bob, KJ6GEU. He's a kind of a captive audience because he's stuck in, well, maybe hopefully not traffic, but he's stuck in the car for a little bit. Bob, welcome.
Hi, Bob. I hope you guys can hear me. KJ6GEU. I'm just coming over the Simi grade, so there's a big pile of dirt between me and the repeater. Can you hear me?
You're marvelous. Sounds great.
Oh, very good. KJ6GEU. Bob, coming back into Simi Valley. As far as outdoor classes, don't have a whole lot here. I was in the Boy Scouts for about 2 years. I finally got tired of it after these clowns that I used to hike with used to put 10 pounds of rocks on my pack every time. Kind of got tired of that, so I made it to first class level and I bailed out. Skiing lessons, I did definitely take those. Glad I did. Back then, they were actually affordable. Now they're insanely priced. I think it's like $250 for a couple hours. It's crazy. And I guess the only other one wasn't a structured class, but, I do night photography. I've been, a photographer for, amateur photographer for years and years, but my father-in-law finally taught me how to do the nighttime stuff, and he was really good at it, still is. And so I've learned from him. And I guess that's about it. Don't have a whole lot else to report. So I'll send it back to Net Control, KJ6GEU, mobile for about another 5 minutes.
Yeah, you were perfect all the way through. Sounded great. And, wow, that counts. You took, as someone even in the family teaching you something and passing it on. Sound like he really has, a method for his nighttime photography. So, and I didn't even think about in like outdoor photography school. If you start thinking about it, there's a lot of outdoor type schools that you could learn. I'm sure you could learn motocross. You could learn, boating. Obviously, they have boating schools. Sailing. I learned to sail. I took a class. So yeah, it's a pretty wide open topic. It wasn't me that wide open when I came up with it. All right. Well, thank you, Bob, as always, being a loyal participant here on the Great Outdoor Net. Let's say hello to another fellow Net Controller, AV6MB. Jeff, did we catch you in time? And welcome.
Hello, Bob. Yeah, caught me in time. This is Jeff, AV6MB on the San Francisco Bay. Yeah, it's interesting. I grew up in the Seattle area, and when I was in Boy Scouts, they taught me rock climbing in a place called Fremont, or Fremont something. It was just something with a free, and my mind just went blank on it. And, very rudimentary roping up, and they had it as a camp, Fremont camp. And they had big rocks up there that they, constructed, and we had some guys came and taught us how to do it. And that was kind of cool. And then when I went to church camp, I learned how to swim there. And that was near the SeaTac up there. The SeaTac airport was where they were right on the ocean. And it was pretty cool. And, I just had a really good time out there when I got my radio going off behind me. But, a lot of those places, get you, teach you and get you prepared for the future when you're in high school or junior high and that, and, learn how to hike. And I went to Boy Scout camp, so we did some hikes and that, and I hiked with the Boy Scouts quite a bit.
And my buddies and I would go hiking quite a bit, so up to the coast of Washington, which was great, actually, absolutely great. I want to do it in the fall or the winter, but during the summer it was great. But it's good to have kids take classes, fishing and swimming, because when they need it, they're going to need it. And my kids took swimming. They had a thing where we, locally at the pool, and we signed them up, and it worked out pretty darn good, actually. So that's all for me, Bob. Let me hand it back to you. Thanks again for doing the net, AB6MB.
Well, thank you, Jeff. That sounds great. Just life lessons. Sometimes it's not like Bob had said, it was in a structured class. It may not be, you're just going out. That's sort of how I learned all the backpacking and hiking stuff, is kind of trial and error. Reading, watching videos, things like that. You can really find everything on YouTube. I learn something every day from YouTube. I need to fix my washer machine. Why does it smell? What is this? What do you do? Just go to YouTube. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Great. Perfect timing. And let's say hello to Ellen, who's got many life lessons that she probably could share with us. K6 Delta Victor, W6CJX net control.
Ho, ho, ho. Yes, I do. Thank you very much. Gee, that's the red carpet treatment. I was trying to come in through Mount Wilson, and I didn't have the right PL in there. Oh, well. K6DV. Wow. I've had an adventurous life, as some of you know, but I have to say the best training I ever received was when I was working and living in Europe, and I became a skier right after I got over there. I didn't know how before that, and only skied Mammoth once. And after a few years, I was on a patrol, and I was a patrol leader, and we were working with the Swiss Army Rescue Service in Switzerland, and they were giving us advanced training for the patrollers from several patrols throughout Germany. And I was part of a group of individuals who did advanced mountaineering and avalanche work in the Swiss Alps. And I have to say to you, that is a life-changing event. When the Swiss Army people pulled us around and told us about what we were going to do and where we were going to go, we ended up working on pulling people out of crevasses. We were climbing ice walls. We were sleeping in snow caves on glaciers, the Aletsch Glacier behind the towns of Grindelwald and Lauterbrunnen. What an event. And we did helicopter rescues. It was awesome. After that training, I've never felt any fear about virtually anything. I was in my 20s and optimistic about the whole world. I came back and ended up coming to California because of my parents, and training and my lifestyle sort of definitely slowed down. So I can say that there are things in my life that I look back on as being memorable. And if I had, you said life advice? Okay, here we go. Life advice. Ordinary people do ordinary things every day. That's a mantra my dad fed to me growing up. And he said, if ordinary people can do it, there's absolutely no reason why you cannot do it. So any challenge, any opportunity, ordinary people do these things. So get after it, girl. And my dad's passed on, but there's his life lesson. And I thank all of you for just bending an ear in my direction for this evening. And I hope to see you all soon, maybe at the Inland Breakfast in 2 weeks. Hey, Bob, thanks for having a great net. K6DV, back to you.
Oh, I'm just the chump behind the microphone. Or chimp. One of those, chimp or chump. And you guys make the net. It's your net, a great net for you guys and for all of us. But you guys make it. I could just sit here and talk to myself, and you guys wouldn't like that. Start throwing virtual tomatoes and things at me through the internet. That is amazing. That I guess it will be recorded. I was going to say I should have recorded that because I'd like to type that out. That's just a beautiful thing your father taught you, and I think that's really, really neat. Thank you, Ellen, so much. There's not enough time in the world to hear everything, and I would love to. Believe me, I think a lot of us would. All right, we're going to switch hats. We're going to put on our chief hat and say hello to Hal, November 6th, Hotel Alpha Lima on Papa 9. Good evening, Chief, and welcome. I can call him that.
November 6th, Hotel Alpha Lima. Thank you, Bob. I had to switch over to 15 Wilson. I lost receive on both 10 and 9. I don't know why. But I'm on 15 now and I'm hearing okay. Well, as far as my outdoor schooling, I didn't have a whole lot. As a kid, of course, I was in Boy Scouts. Most of that was outdoor training, about being a Boy Scout, camping mainly. We hiked up for a weekend to a local hill here in San Marcos for the weekend, and we got to learn how to set up our tents and dig drainage trenches around them. We learned how to cook, and I was really thankful that they taught us how to put those drainage ditches around the tent, as we had a heavy rainstorm that night, and my boat that I dug around my tent worked perfectly, so I didn't get any water in the tent. Then I had to cook my dinner out in the rain. My dinner was one of my first attempts to do outdoor cooking over an open fire. That was in an aluminum pan, and it was beef stew. It actually turned out pretty good. But, that was my younger day schooling. I didn't have anything else, basically. A lot of on-the-job training outdoors, of course. And then when I went in the Air Force, Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas, they shipped us out to Camp Bullis, an Army base, for a survival camp. So we had some survival training out there. They were trying to make us sack-trained killers. But that's the first and only time I've ever had live fire over my head, so that was kind of exciting. And then, of course, I just recently had training, outdoor-type training for emergency preparedness with our local CERT team. So that's the extent of mine. And I hear for the grapevine you're going to the island camp this weekend, I assume, Bob. Have a good time. N6HAL back to the net.
Well, thank you, Hal. I was trying to find a piece of paper here. No, not this weekend. Actually, we do our annual Papa Ham Camp is going to be August 24th through the 31st, and we won't be there that whole time, but that's what we have reserved for camping. And there's only 2 campsites, so we've got those pretty much almost full, and I doubt seriously, unless someone canceled, anyone could get other campsites. It's like 6 months to the day, and it took me a long time to get these 2, and I've been doing it for like 15 years. But no, it's going to be in the pretty much the end of August. Think of it that, and you'll get to hear us. We'll be on enough. Hopefully, we do some HF work out there, and also just on the repeaters. We can get into just about every Papa repeater, closest to the coastline, all the way down to San Diego. I know we've talked to, I don't know, one of the repeaters down there someplace. I don't know which one it was. Well, always a pleasure, Hal. Thank you so much. And I like calling you Chief because, well, I don't have one anymore. And chiefs are well respected, and I really respect you. So there you go, my friend. And let's say hello to RJ, KM6AVH. Welcome.
KM6AVH. Well, the only survival training I've had was ages 0 through 25, surviving growing up in the city of Chicago. You have to have some survival skills to do that. The topic of how many days staying in a tent, mine would be 17 days. And that was on a fabulous bus camping tour from Sydney to Darwin, Australia. We were in a bus half of the day, and we did some touring and stops and whatnot. We get to the campsite, and the first thing that everybody had to do, everybody had to pitch in and set up all the tents. And the driver was sort of the lead, and showed us how to do it and provided a 12-volt light inside of the tent for us. Well, actually for me, because I went by myself. Then after the tent was set up, then we could relax, and they would feed us dinner off of the bus. We got breakfast and we got dinner. Lunch we were on our own, and so it was kind of like a cruise where food and drinks were provided. And then in the morning we get up and get dressed, sort of. And you could get up and shower and do all that other stuff, to get the day started. Then we'd have to pack up all the tents, put them back in the bus, and then they'd serve us breakfast. And then we'd go on. And it was 30 people, 35 people. And but every night I was in a tent. And it was really interesting, especially when we got into the outback of Australia. By the way, the people in Australia were absolutely wonderful. They were very friendly. They were very outgoing. We stopped in one roadhouse, and there were some Australian soldiers there that were off duty, but they were in the bar. They heard my American accent to them and bought me a beer. By the way, Foster's is not in Australia. It's VB, Victoria Bitters, is the classic beer. It was a wonderful experience. KM6AVH back over to Net Control.
That sounds like great, because you're basically traveling, by bus and being able to see what's going on around you and things like that, like the scenery, and then, they set up camp, and that almost sounds like an African safari. But, it sounds like it was a really good trip, and it's like one of those trips that's pretty intense. Anyway, okay. Sorry. But I'm envious. That sounds like a great one. I've always wanted to kind of go on a African safari or something. Would be neat. Just maybe not now, but maybe when I was younger. Okay, yes, that's where it is. We're down at the bottom of our list, and it's time to go back outside to the classroom and look for some more participants. Anyone else out there would like to join us here on the Papa System Great Outdoor Net? W6 CGX is Net Control.
Whiskey Tango 6 Tango, Brian.
Foxtrot Golf Whiskey.
Kilo Oscar 6 Bravo Golf Sierra, Winter Park.
November 6 Alpha Quebec.
Okay, good second round. Is it the second round? By George, it is. It is the second round. I look at that. And, okay. So let's see, I got Brian, W Whiskey Tango 6 Tango. I like that so much better. It's easier. Rolls off something better. WA6FGW KO6BGS and November 6 Alpha Quebec Dale. So let's go to Brian. Whiskey Tango 6 Tango. Welcome, and great job on the net the other night, as always.
Well, thank you, Bob. I appreciate the feedback. You're very kind. This is Brian in Glendale, Whiskey Tango 6 Tango. Let's see, outdoor school for me was the Boy Scouts, of course. A lot of fun camping and hiking and learning to do stuff. Remember cutting down a tree for my Paul Bunyan Award the first time and doing stuff like that. Then I got off into the Civil Air Patrol Cadet program, and they had their own version of the Rangers. We used to do search and rescue, and I was camping one snowy Thanksgiving in the hills at the airport at Somerset County, Pennsylvania, and looking for somebody who flew his helicopter into the mountain. And then diving. That's definitely an outdoors thing, and they had the whole ocean there, and school was fun with so many fish and stuff, and a lot of the islands and island dives around here. All the other stuff I've done has pretty much been on my own, and not so much of that anymore. Thanks for doing the net. I love this topic. Whiskey Tango 6 Tango.
It just keeps blossoming. It's like this big flower. I know, it's like a metaphor, right? But it's like this big flower that as each petal kind of either falls off or opens up. Now, scuba diving, why didn't I think of that? What was going on? I've been certified as a scuba diver. It's been a million years ago, and I'd have to have refresher courses. But thank you very much, Brian. Yeah, like I said, good job. And makes that net a really great net. Definitely. You and Jeff, especially back to back. And it's nice to have some stability there. It's so nice, really nice. Okay, let's move over to Steve, WA6FGW, and I bet he's got a few things up his sleeve. I know you did a lot of stuff with the Scouts and stuff, so see what you got out there, Steve, in the great outdoors. Welcome.
Okay, very good there, Bob, in the group, WA6 Foxtrot Golf Whiskey. And yeah, you're right. One of the early, I was a scout for about 6 months as a kid, growing up in the south side of Chicago, but only went on a couple of hikes, and they were pretty much rain out deals. When you talk about spending time in your tent, this was in the tent because it was raining so hard, as opposed to any distance being given there. So, and my experiences aren't just. Don't compare to some of the foreign places some of the people have mentioned and whatnot. That's really wonderful to do that. Closest that we have got to that, when I finally, basically with my son, getting old enough, so much for Boy Scouts, and along came cars and girls and whatever have you, and got together with somebody from work, and turned out they spent a couple, 3 years. Their summer vacations were doing trail work. If you go along on hikes in the backcountry, you undoubtedly have run across a couple of trail crews, fixing and sawing lumber and whatever have you. And he had a lot of good experiences from that. Did it for a couple, 3 years before he moved on to do some more personal type hiking and camping. But I was just going to mention some of the early, how would you say, influencers on camping gear and whatnot. You're absolutely right. It takes a while to gather up stuff that fits your specific needs. In the early days, we had this a company called A16. They were very good about giving you good information as far as weight of items and types of tents that might be good, that sort of thing. And then of course you have the REI and Sport Chalet. Sport Chalet is I think either gone from the scene, or someone might mention it if they're still around anywhere, or if they've gone away. And then let's not forget the magazines. I used to look forward to the comparison magazines, where they would take 8 or 10 of the top tents, let's say, and make a comparison, and you could draw some of your own conclusions. I do mine are favoring this or that or whatever have you. So, but not much more to go from there. Oh, and of course, economy-wise, I made a number of things out of my own, just sew it together or glue it together or whatever have you. So, mother of invention and the cost of doing stuff, if you didn't already have a bivy sack, maybe whip up something that you use some Gore-Tex material from the local material shop. And those places are going away now, so what do we have? You'll have to start your own place there, Bob. Anyway, thanks for letting me do it in, and thanks for holding that WA6 FGW.
Wow, I think I found Sport Chalet. Oh no, that's my garage. There's just, a lot of that stuff. I think Sport Chalet is no more. I used to go there quite a bit too, from either the one in Woodland Hills or the one in Oxnard. But now I think we're down to pretty much REI, Dick's, and Big Five. But don't discredit Big Five. They've come up in quality of things. I mean, Big Five was kind of like your Harbor Freight. Oh, I hope they're not listening. Harbor Freight of, I said used to be, of outdoor equipment. It's like, well, I don't know, we're going to go camping for the first time. Let's get a $10 tent, as opposed to going to REI and getting a $300 tent for your first camping trip. So those kind of things. But they've actually come up in quality and and their prices are pretty compatible. And if you just need some fuel for your stove or lantern or mantles, they've got all that stuff too. So don't forget them. Other than that, that's about all we have left. It's pretty good. And I do remember Venture 16. Yeah, over off, I don't know, what was it? Ventura Boulevard and something, whatever the other cross street was there. But I remember Venture 16. Reseda, okay. Yeah, that was probably one of my accounts down that way. Thank you, Steve. That's very nice of you. Yeah, it's perfect. You can always count on you to come in there. I love it. All right. Thanks, Steve. Always good. And let's say hello to Raymond. Oh, our buddy Raymond's back. He's back in the saddle. So, KO6, Bravo Golf Sierra. Welcome.
Thank you, Bob. It's good to be back in the saddle again. And I'm enjoying every moment of it. But to get to answer your question, many years ago, I belonged to a four-wheel drive club. We were the International Scout Association, and everyone had a Jeep. And our four-wheel drive club had 30 members. We had 30 families in the club. So you can imagine when we used to go down the road, we take up quite a large space on the freeway. But every month we would pick a place to go, and we went anywhere from to help officiate the Baja 1000 to go out in the desert with the other four-wheel drive clubs down at Borrego Springs. Pismo Beach, we go to Pismo Beach. We go off at the Gorman area. One time we planted 5,000 trees in a burnout area. We had about 4 other clubs with us, so that wasn't bad. You know, each club would take about 1,000 trees, and if you got 30 members in your club, your kids and the whole bit, it makes a good day of it, and the kids learn something as well too while you're planting those trees. But one of the things that I take back from it is that one of the trips we had, someone came up with safety training, and he mentioned something about having a lanyard with little containers of 35 millimeter film canisters. Tape them around your lanyard, and you can put as many as you want or as many as you need. Some of them containing matches, cotton, steel wool, maybe your medication. Carry that, a whistle, so that if you get in trouble, they could hear the sound of a whistle better. That'll go further and better than somebody trying to shout for help. And having a little one of those plastic lights that you snap and they light up at the end of your lanyard, that would help people spot you when you're out there in the dark. Things of that nature. And I always remember that, and that was a good experience for me and the family. So 73s to everyone. I'm enjoying the net, and thank you, Bob, for putting it on. This is Kilo Oscar 6, Bravo Golf Sierra, 73s.
Well, thank you, Raymond. That was awesome. Wow. That is so nice. You're just such a nice guy, a nice person, and good human being. And, of course, thank you for your service. I mean, that's training, too, outdoors most of the time, probably. But, man, the four-wheel club would be a blast. And I was in a Mustang club, so I kind of know that. We used to have poker runs, I guess, where you get a card and try to make your best hand, that kind of thing, and breakfasts like we do with the Papa system. So it's a lot of fun, yeah. And then you get to go on these trips, places, and if they're overnighters, that's fun too. So, well, thanks for sharing that. That's very, very cool. And definitely, the topic is like, I didn't know it was going to be this wide open, kind of. Just kind of only think of a few things at first, but yeah, it's definitely a nice topic. I like what we came up with, or the outdoor team here, right? All right, thank you, Raven. And what else was I going to say? I'm going to get to Dale, because he's waiting very patiently, and I have, because I want to know the temperature in Tustin. N6 AQQ, welcome.
Good evening. This is Dale N6 AQQ. It's 67 degrees in Tustin. I think you turned over to me. It hasn't one turned down, but anyway, I think the topic is what classes you've taken outdoors. The only two that I've taken, I took swimming at the YMCA when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I took a motorcycle class like 15 years ago. So that's it. Back there at M6AQQ, I think that's the topic.
You're absolutely correct. Johnny, what did he win? No, you got the topic. That was it. Definitely. Yeah, just like I said, it was just, I don't know, I do a lot of reading. No, I don't. I'm like, Carolyn knows I don't read. Okay, I do a lot of scanning things on the internet, watch a little few videos and stuff, but yeah, just they were talking about survival training and all these different, might have even been a movie. Oh, speaking of movies, and I'm not not a paid sponsor and whatever you call that, on Netflix, those of you do have Netflix, and those of you that like the great outdoors, and if you especially like Yosemite, you need to check out Untamed. It's just a weird name for a movie about Yosemite, and it's a thriller type of thing, kind of murder mystery thing, but it's wonderful, and the scenery is amazing. It's like six sessions or 6 episodes, and so it's not a long one, but you could binge watch it maybe, or watch it in 2 nights. But if you like the outdoors and you've been to Yosemite and you've seen a lot of these beautiful sites, they do a lot of the photography, and there's a story, and it's very twisted. You got to kind of follow it. If you miss something, you'll be lost in the woods in Yosemite. All right, with that, W6CJX for the Papa System, great outdoor net. This net is here every Sunday evening. It's 8 p.m. And I know we got all these other nets coming up. Let's see who else is out there. We'll throw out another call, maybe kind of a soft last call, but round up another group if we can. Please come down.
Tango,
Foxtrot
recheck.
6, Victor, Papa Alpha.
Kilo November 6, Mike Romeo Golf.
All right. I left a lot of space there because sometimes it's really hard on the internet if you're coming through All-Star or one of the bridges to try to get in and compete. You get knocked out. You're like, they're the first one to get knocked out when someone on analog keys up, I think. So, but it's all right. I'll leave plenty of space there. Okay, I got a recheck from Brian. And I got Ray, UPA is here. Yippee-I-A. We got Ray. And it all rhymes, so we're good. And I think it's Kilo November 6 M Mike Romeo Golf. So let's take Brian's recheck. I usually take rechecks after the first checks, but since just a small list, go ahead with Brian until keep his thought.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for mentioning the Yosemite. This is Brian, Whiskey Tango, 6 Tango. Fortunately, if you're familiar with Yosemite, most of that was filmed in Yosemite. That's all. Whiskey Tango, 6 Tango.
Is it real or is it AI? That's going to be the question. You watch these reels and all the other thing we watch on, and we don't watch, some of us don't, I suppose, but it's, you just keep asking yourself, no, that's got to be AI. No, that's got to be AI. So, is that what it's come to? I mean, CGI was enough. I mean, it was great for the production and all that, but I just mean the production value and for movie watchers and all that. But boy, anyway, sorry, get off my Apple box. Okay, let's say hello to Ray. Uniform Papa Alpha. Welcome, Ray. And how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm good. I'm getting in on Papa 10 tonight here from Escondido. I'm so sorry I don't get to hear all of these, but I do try to listen on the YouTubes later. Love the topics. Generally, I think tonight was what's supposed to be in your, what's a good thing to carry in your ready bag, your go bag, your trip bag?
Well, that is a good subject, but that's not it. The subject was what type of, any kind of outdoor school, you know, as in stuff like, you know, even swim lessons, skiing, surfing, tennis, golf, backpacking, scuba diving, And if anybody's a scuba diver, you've taken a scuba diving course. At least I hope you have, because if you didn't, you might have a problem. Go ahead, Ray.
Oh, well, this will be short for me. I'll just keep it short and sweet and say I think the best thing is people just get out and camp. I mean, you don't know what's good or bad, or just even car camping teach you how to cook in a stove and stuff like that. I have not been in any schools. I've participated in events that did take me out into the boonies, where I was like the paramedic along for the ride. I've done some Cycle Sierra trips where I was the SAC driver chauffeur, but I was also a paramedic, so I'd help if somebody were in accidents. And I remember one that was pretty brutal where we had to fly somebody out, and I was Johnny on the spot. Not a lot I could do for them except package them, prepare them, make sure that they weren't getting hurt worse by people not knowing what they were doing, and stuff like that. But I don't have a lot to add to it other than just get out and do it. I can say that one of the things, I'm getting off topic, so I'll leave it to you, and I'm so sorry I can't get here sooner. I was leading another net that went long tonight, so but great topic, and I'll look forward to it on YouTube.
So you might think we have this all set up. Ray comes into the net, says he missed most of the net, but I'll catch the archive on YouTube tomorrow afternoon. See? Now, how much am I going to pay? I have to pay Ray for this, so, everybody listen to him. Now, he does have another net that he runs. But see? If I was doing another net, if I jump over to the Great Outdoor, of course I would. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Thank you, Ray. Let's go down to say hello and let me know if it's wrong. Kilo November 6, Mike Romeo Golf. I should have just looked on my pages, but I got lazy. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. You got it correct. Kilo November 6, Mike Romeo Golf. Chris in Valley Center coming in on Papa 10. I just got back yesterday from camping up in Kennedy Meadows, riding motorcycles with a group of friends. And we were terrorized in the camp with 2 different black bears every night. So we didn't get the, quiet night sleep and all that kind of stuff that you normally get. But it was really enjoyable, good altitude, temperatures were great. I was in Scouts for about 2.5 years. It was kind of hard for me because I grew up on a ranch, so I was used to carrying a pocket knife. And in Scouts, it was kind of weird because they only did the totem patch once a year, and I couldn't carry my knife in Scouts until I got that. So I had to spend 9 months without a knife. And I guess some of those rules are cool, but for me, it was I already know how to use this. And so, but it was good. Scouts taught me to sail, so some of the trips were really cool. Then I had swim lessons for about a year, but then was surfing the next year and swimming out in the ocean. So I didn't do swim lessons again. But that's about it for the classes. The movie you recommended is really good. I binge watched it. And then I remember Adventure 16. Most of the guys at the shop down in San Diego off 8, everybody that worked there was outdoors people, so they had really good recommendations. It's a bummer that it went out. But there's also, if anybody's interested, another small shop that is kind of the same but smaller is Nomad Ventures. They have a shop in Joshua Tree, in Idlewild, and also one in Escondido. And that's a small like, if you want information, and it's kind of high-end stuff that they carry, but they also do, like, water sports and paddle boarding and all that kind of stuff, too. So, yeah. Thank you very much for the net. It's always enjoyable to listen to. Hope everybody is well. KN6MRG, back to net.
Well, thank you, Chris. I went back in the 2 pages and I found your call sign in your name, so I would have known. That's usually what I do ahead of time, but I was listening to what everyone's saying. Some great stuff, and you kind of hit a nerve with the Nomad Ventures. I forgot how they call it, because I grew up in Idlewild, but I knew them personally, the original Steve and Nona Barker, who had Nomad Adventures, or Nomad Ventures, whatever it is, that's up there. And, of course, they moved on. They went on to make Eagle Creek, a lot of famous outdoor products there. But, yeah, they were cool. I bought my first North Face jacket from them and pair of Vask, what was the type of boots? Nice hiking boots, whatever they were. They were like the best I could afford at the time. So thank you for that. That even jogged my memory a little bit. Yeah, they were great people. Did a lot of rock climbing equipment, like they'd make harnesses and different things you could, like belts that you could hang all your stuff on, your equipment for rock climbing. But that was a rock climbing mecca up there at that time, especially. All right, Chris, thanks for that. Awesome. And with that, I'm at the end of my list. I'll take a couple more just to round it out. And if there's anyone else that'd like to check in, the Pop System, Great Outdoor Net.
K0WDG.
KO6TOJ. Okay, and I got Johnny, but you're blinking in and out. I don't know why. I wish we could get that fixed on 26, but it was clearer earlier when you checked in somewhere. Okay, let's go to the top of that list. We've got Cowdog. Welcome to the net, and good to hear you, James. And what you got for us tonight?
Well, I guess for starters, I was raised by wolves, so that's where the outdoor experience comes from. But in all reality, I've spent, from the time I was 5 years old to even younger, being outside. So the only classes I've ever really took was I took an animal packing class in college, and that got me a job in Yosemite. And then they kind of go with the Cal Poly method up there. It's learn by doing, and or the classic FAFO, and you learn pretty quick when your life's on, when the stakes are your life, you learn pretty quick what to do and what not to do. But yeah, there was all sorts of cool gear shops and everything in Mammoth, and some of the best deals I ever got were some little mom and pop shop that was they were selling their winter stuff during the summer and trying to make room for all the new stuff. But anyhow, yeah, I'm looking forward to the island and kind of refining the gear for this year, and hopefully everything will go well and we'll have a great trip. K0WDG, back to net.
Sounds great, James. I'm looking forward to it, I think. And I did spend some time with him on the island last year. And yes, folks, he was raised by wolves. That howling, people snore at night. He's over there howling. We're like, what is going on? And the little foxes are running around scared to death because they think there's a wolf up to get them. I just made that up. But it was a good camping story, right? All right. Well, thank you, James. And all I have is Lima Oscar Whiskey, which is kind of LOW. And I'm not sure where you're from, but come on in, give us the rest of your call and your name and anything you have for the great outdoors.
Good evening. This is Elijah, KJ6LOW, over here coming through Papa 39 in Bakersfield. Heard you say that you were from Idlewild. Well, I grew up in Hemet, so I know a lot about Idlewild. Did a lot of fishing and camping up there when I was a kid, and a good old Strawberry Creek when it used to flow. But as far as training goes, yeah, I was a Boy Scout for 5-6 months or so. But I'll tell you what, the best equipment that I use when I go to the Eastern Sierras is my grandfather's tent from 1962, right along with his white gas stove. They still work great to this day.
That stuff was built to last. I mean, seriously. Back in the day, and although a lot of camping equipment does last a long time, I never get rid of any camping equipment because it's good survival, right? If you ever have a reason to hunker down at home or whatever you got to do. But yeah, that's how you kind of learn, and that's how I learned. I didn't really take any classes either, unless I just didn't realize it was maybe we're growing up in Idaho, it's the mountains, so we took a lot of nature classes, I guess, those kind of things, and we went on a lot of hikes. So I guess they taught us when we would go hiking, this is what you should carry, and this is what you shouldn't carry, and don't bring, you can bring a teddy bear, but as long as it fits into the overhead compartment. W6CJX for the Papa System, Great Outdoor Net. All right, thank you, Elijah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I figured that's where you were out of, and I think I heard you before once, but welcome to the net, so don't be a stranger, especially if you got some outdoor experience you'd like to share and worship with us.
Right, well, hey, thank you, I appreciate it. I'll say 7 threes to everybody on the net.
KO6 COJ Johnny, welcome.
Let me see if I have it. Am I hitting the repeater okay, Bob?
Yeah, that was very solid.
All right, well, good evening, Bob, and everyone on the net. Never was in Boy Scouts. Done a ton of camping over the course of my life. Every terrain except ice and snow. But anyway, just wanted to check in and say howdy. And I'm coming in on Papa 25 tonight on the 220 machine. And I guess it's the only local repeater of the Papa that's working right now. Not mobile rig when I usually hit Papa 1. But anyway, good to hear everyone out there. And this is John, KO6, COJ, back to net control, 76.
Well, thank you, Johnny. Yeah, I guess that is the 220 machine there, 25. It's got the same issue as 26, but you were really good for the 90% of all that. Just towards the end, it started fluttering on you, but we're used to that now. It's kind of like the norm instead of what it should be. Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to round up before we close. In closing, I like that. At least it prepares people that you're closing. I think swimming lessons kind of should be mandatory, not by law, but just by common sense. Have your kids, because let's say your kid's a natural swimmer, but and if that's the case, they won't have to stay in the class very long, right? They'll be swimming and they'll be, okay, you're good. But the ones that maybe can't swim or have trouble, getting confidence to swim and all that, just seems like that would be such a very important thing because so many kids do drown each year. So we just, and that's really parents' fault more than anything because they should be within like an arm reach of everyone. So that's my soapbox on that one. I just agree with everyone saying learning kind of, by doing. And so you make your mistakes and you correct them and you know what to take next time and not to take, or, do I want to cross that stream without some trekking poles or something? And then you fall in and wish you used your trekking poles and took them out of your pack. They do come in handy. All right, with that, crickets are coming. They're out. They're rounding the first band, coming around the first band. Notice it's cricket 1 and cricket 2. I know, I'm stupid. But cricket races. So if anybody can think of a name I can use that has cricket in it, Cricket Ticket. Cricket Ticket Studios. I don't know. We'll see or something. Sounds like fun. Project. That's your homework for tonight. I want to thank the Papa System and, of course, all the members for their dues that keep all this stuff and the lights running and the Wi-Fi going and the crickets going and all those kind of things. And, of course, the tech teams that go to the mountaintops and climb the towers. Thanks, Cecil, for his legendary leadership, all the members, and all the net controllers, because without net controllers, we probably wouldn't have a very organized net of, it's still not very organized, but I do the best I can. And we'll see everybody next week in the great outdoors.
All the best. We love him.
7-3.